Hi. Hey.
Carousel magazine issue 35 launch. And here's some of the readers. Kememy Babineau, Cara Evans, Gustave Morin, Paradiso, Richardson, Blair Trewartha, Scott at the Belljar Cafe, Dundas St West and Roncy.
So the readings will be happening up front here, and you know, feel free to move in. We'll do 2 sets, 4 readers, 3 readers.
You're on the clock. You do my job.
Can everyone hear? Okay, great. Welcome to the Carousel Summer Party. I guess it's officially the Toronto launch of issue 35. Although there will be some readers from issue 34. We did a launch in January at a gallery, and if you've ever seen Carousel, there's a lot of visual sort of elements in the magazine, so we tend to do 1 launch a year in the art scene and 1 launch a year in the literary scene, and we kind of overlap readers. So 3 of the 7 readers will be from issue 34, 3 of the 7 readers will be from issue 35, and because we sort of do things in a strange way sometimes, we actually have a reader from issue 36, which will be coming out around Christmas.
2 readers.
2 readers from 36.
Kemeny too. Kemeny in?
Oh, Kemeny's in 34.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's wrong, I'm right. Yes, and so my friend Gustave is here, and actually he'll be the artist in 36. He's also an out-of-towner, the only out-of-towner in the reading, so he just happened to be here. I'm working on designing his next book, and it was good timing, and he is in the next issue, so we've added him to the bill. So just to tell you a little bit about Carousel, for those of you who don't know, we publish twice a year, pretty regularly. May, June kind of thing, and November, December kind of thing, depending on if we're right on or very close. So 35 has been in stores for a bit here, but we're having kind of a near end of summer launch because summer's always so busy for people, and August seemed great, and I guess we're officially in August. Great. So this is Carousel 35, and this is Carousel 34. I'm going to try to sell you Carousel 35 at some point, which is we've squeezed in right around there. And the issue is $10, which is sort of cover price. You don't pay tax. If you want to give us an extra $1, you'll actually become a subscriber and get the following issue mailed to you in December. And there are sort of upscales from there. You can, for 20 bucks, you get 4 issues. For $29, we have to fuss with change, but you get 6 issues. So do check us out during the break. We'll have 4 readers, a break of about 10 to 15 minutes, so you can refresh. There's a little bit of food here, some sandwiches, but mostly, you know, support the bar, have a drink, smoke out front, of course, and then we'll resume with 3 other readers. And with that, I'll just get things rolling. Our first reader comes from issue 34, and I'm just going to give you a quick bio here. So this bio is like 6 months old, but maybe nothing's changed, or maybe Blair will update you on anything. He hasn't done anything. Great. Blair Trewartha previously published 2 chapbooks, Break-In by Cactus Press and Porcupine Burning by Baseline Press. His debut collection of poetry was published by Palimpsest in September 2014. Blair currently lives and teaches in Toronto. Blair Trewartha.
Thanks, Mark. So I'm just going to do a quick reading. I'm going to read 2 poems. So I'll read 1 poem from my book and 1 poem from issue 34. And yeah, thanks again for inviting me to read. It's kind of fun to do a Carousel launch reading. The first poem that I was ever had published in a literary magazine was in Carousel 12 years ago. So I found that old issue last night and I read through it thinking I would read it tonight, and then I realized that when you read a poem you wrote 12 years ago, it's pretty rough. So I think poems kind of age like dogs. Even if it's only 5 years, it feels like you wrote it when you were in grade 8, so I'm not going to read that. So this first one is from my book, and it's kind of connected thematically to the one in the magazine. And it's for a friend of mine who, after, I don't know, 10 years of doing about 10 different careers, in her 30s she decided to go back to school and become a mortician. So this one's for Zoe, and it's called Undertaking. This is sacred ground. At the parlor, there's a 20-year-old drained of blood. A woman working his hands, nails trenched through elastic neck, flesh wounds of reflexive regret. On dates, she tells men what she does for money, decides to take them home when they compare her to a doctor. Alone, body sprawled stiff, she needs knots from muscle, tension from bone. Always push and pull, savor and withdraw, something like a baker or a backwards god. And this next one is also about Zoe. But I kind of imagined what she would do next if, after all those careers, where she would go after mortician. So this one's, a mortician considers Formula 1. Imagine breasts amidst the flowers, the horsepower behind a pipe organ playing mourners to their seats. We'd all sleep a little better, wouldn't we? Burials just midnight burnouts down boulevards and beachfront, flames splashing across a hearse. Imagine my bicep across the Jumbotron, pulling the driver from his satin pillow through a crumpled door, an audience of chins dropping in prayer. Then the final curtain. He's all right, folks. The collective relief. A different type of amen. Cool, that's it, thank you.
So before I introduce our next reader, I just wanted to thank the venue. This is our first event at the Belljar Cafe. We've had a history of doing things with Live Words, the reading series, which kind of went on hiatus this past fall or spring. So we've kind of been on the hunt for a venue, and I ended up seeing an event here about a month ago or 2 months ago or whatever, and it seemed like a good venue, and they were very happy to have us. So maybe this is a new home for Carousel launches. It's a good turnout. Thank you so much for coming. I'll introduce Kememy Babineau. Also in issue 34.
Not 36?
Not 36. Kememy Babineau is an inactivist poet, bookseller, and micro-publisher. His latest publication, aside from his own Laurel Reed Books impress, has been with Book Thug and Above Ground Press. He lives with his wife and 2 daughters on the edge of town. Kememy Babineau.
Hello. I'm going to begin with
Bye.
this is I like to read this poem. This is a poem I wrote in Windsor, and actually it was the night after hanging out with Gustave Morin, who's reading tonight.
Well, that was 12 years ago.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But a memorable time. So there's a lot of Windsor references in here. I talk about gibbet irons, which is what they used to hang in colonial times. The dead bodies of the people who'd been hung, they would then hang them in these gibbet irons from trees to hold the body together as it rotted, as an attempt to deter people from crimes. It's pretty gruesome. Anyway, Windsor song. Talk about sides of the border. Windsor in the rain with one leg and a crutch to boot. Apartheid is in a class of its own, and then some, baby. At the Bobby House, give me a Y, MC, eh? Give me a haunted motive, or an auto motive for the Autobahn ban. Wear a kind of crank around your scalp, like gibbet irons for Yorick. This one's faced off Fort Detroit. Everyone knows war is worse than hockey. Take a look, back up, then down. There's a mighty big boat coming up the river, like a jail on the water, like a floating wall. Dip your finger in the ooze of a too soft maggot flesh. Blow your wad out the casino. Say Uncle Remus robbed us. The lake, St. Clair, will rise above sea level like a prophet of no fish. This is a last resort. Stay and think what you want. There's always that smell, and the winds leave scars along here. This poem is it's a Rob Ford poem that I did at the kind of the beginning of that whole scandal when it was coming out. This is I wrote this at the point where, you know, he was still claiming that there was no video, and there was a lot of rumors floating around and talk about this apartment building, what was going on the 17th floor of this apartment building and whatnot. So, crack shot. Shot in the 17th leg, on the floor. Shot on the floor 17 times with a leg. Shot through the floor 17 times. Crack, crack like that. Blows from a pipe 17 times. Who saw the video? Cracked through glass on the floor. Cracked lives for a mayor. Shot with a phone 17 times. Media has the message. Who ought to be in jail? Mopping the floor. The mayor needs to come down. He's away too high on the 17th floor, shot by shot and without truth. And there the boy lies, and there the boy lies dead. Okay, I just got two more. This one's called Mary and Rueful. It's kind of there's a poet named Mary Rueful, so it's a bit of an ode to her work, I guess. I don't know. Mary and Rueful. My brain, Mary and Rueful. My brain is an ancient sponge with a hole in it, large enough for my head and my intestines to be poured in like a queer Latin oracle sliding up a sea, wet ship deck and birthing an impossibility of electric eels. And I'll finish with this. How the chicken lost its penis. The cockerel lost its cock, but remembers where it's kept. Invisible and inert, it awaits the cloacal bump. The chicken has lost its penis. It was using it as a bookmark in Henry Miller's Crazy Cock. What will happen next? The sky is falling, and there isn't a penis in sight. The rooster screams. The sky is falling and we are in it. The chicken lost its penis, just like Donald Trump. But the honest cockerel has more hair and a lot more hump. The chicken has lost its penis. It laid it across the road like a traffic counting ribbon. Looking for its penis, the chicken crossed the road, wondering, is this some kind of joke? The chicken has lost its penis, but Sherlock Holmes and Mary Shelley went back in time to find it. They found it, of course, fell in love, and passing the penis back and forth, created mankind. The chicken lost its penis, but Michelle Obama revives it. She holds it high at dawn when the world is brilliant with color, but nothing happens. Then it is night. Somewhere, the cockless cockerel crows. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll be moving to Cara Evans, who is in issue 35. Before I introduce Cara, I just wanted to thank our funders. We have a relationship with the University of Guelph that is long-standing, so we want to thank the university and the volunteers at the university who help with the magazine. We have a more recent relationship with the Ontario Arts Council and the Canada Council, so we also want to thank both of those funding bodies. And with that, I will introduce Cara. Cara Evans is a graduate, going blind. Cara Evans is a graduate student at the University of Toronto. She writes poetry, fiction, and when required, brief third-person autobiographical statements. Her work has appeared in Descant, Filling Station, Art House Review, and Clips Springer magazine, which I've not heard of. Cara.
Definitely shorter than the last guy that's up here. That's okay. Thanks.
Out there?
Sounds good.
Out there.
Hi. Alright, so I'm going to read the poems that are in a journal and then a couple more. The first one's called Fractal. Nothing disappears, every action fractures into a million splinters of the same action happening over and over. There is no erasure, only variation. The word or is nestled in word, and each word is a breath. The breath is the story, the sound, or the sign. The word more is truncated and trapped within memory. Memory cannot exceed or replicate, twists vainly toward doubling, redoubling, redoing. All holes are completed by lack. Yeah.
We're trying to keep the door open, so maybe move just a little closer
Okay.
to the mic.
Is that better? Oh, there it is. Okay. Second one's called Black Box. Reality fits inside a little black box. In between those brittle walls, there is only neural static. There is only the frantic sparking of seared myelin. There is only an optic nerve throbbing with potassium, only the tremor of a membrane nestled deep inside the ear, only waves of sodium sucked in through the double walls of the cell, only the headlong tumble of tiny gates snapping shut in a row, and only the flood of radioisotopes swirling on the lit screen, blue or red or green in labyrinthine paths that trace the mind's outline in a blind contour, as if it were a face or a vase of flowers on a draped sheet on an artist's table, as if it had shaped and place, as if matter were not mostly empty space, clotted with clustered electrons, so bone and marrow and blood and brain are interruptions in a humming void, are spinning and pulling in subtle repulsion, are the strangeness of charm and the upness of down, are the bottom and top that were once truth and beauty, and the secret speed of smallness. Can you hear that time? Yeah, good. All right, I'm going to read two more for you. Next one's called Realization. It's a poem about cognitive screening for dementia, which is something I do in my line of work. Your sentence lacked a subject and an object, but its verb was realize, when you said, I don't have time for your insipid games. But what did you realize anyway? Time and your mind divided and went their separate ways. In the coming into being of that split, a divergence was realized, made actual, made deep and impassable, while the other reality that you traversed grew into existence in the hollowing spaces of your brain. Maybe you realized that the subject and object were lost, or had changed their natures. You became the object in that place. In this poem, the object is you, as it was in that white-walled room. When realized that, you wrote on the notepad, it's fucking cold, you told me, naked. I'm going to do one last one. This one's called Everyone Was Beautiful. Everyone was beautiful and nothing was breaking. Everything was broken and past. The instant of fracture was fragments and scraps already. Everything was beautiful and no one was broken. Everyone was fissuring from the inside, but skin was still holding. Everyone was breaking and nothing was beautiful. There were pearls on my throat. There was jewel dark wine against your lips.
Okay, now we'll move on to our out-of-town guest, Gustave Morin. I actually don't have a bio really on hand, at least something that I can read from the book, but I've known Gus for a number of years, and he's actually appeared in Carousel maybe 3 or 4 times in a 10-year period. So
More than that.
maybe more than that. He'll tell you about that.
No one's counting.
No
but I
one's
think it's
counting.
at least 6 or 7.
So Gustave Morin is a concrete poet, recently a painter, and several books have come out. Penny Dreadful, recently The Elephant Papers, and he's currently in Toronto because we're working on a New Star book. New Star is a publisher in Vancouver called Clean Sales, which should be out in November. And right around that time, as I mentioned, we're going to have a kind of preview and interview in Carousel with regards to the book, which is a book of typewriter poems. He may choose to tell you a bit more about it, or you may just have to wait till November. But with that, I'm going to introduce Gustave Morin.
Yeah, look at my hat.
The black
I got a
Mexican
great hat. You know, I have a friend that lives just outside of London, Ontario, and he has 3 beautiful children. They're very, very just. If you think the world is ending, you just need to meet these people, and you can almost be comforted into a false sense of security that the world is not ending, because this family is really just out of this world. Anyhow, because you can leave the door open. I don't even need this mic. You can't hear me at the back? Come on, I'm very good at projecting. But anyways, I just want to say that I found this hat in the recycle bin, and it was scribbled on by the firstborn child, Ashwin Reed, and I thought, oh, this is too nice to recycle. I don't want to recycle it, even though I don't really like the whole, PC thing that it's espousing. I guess there's a cooking school somewhere. Nonetheless, it's a paper hat, and I have made it a challenge of mine to sort of put it through this stress test. I want to see how long a paper hat lasts. So I've been wearing it since Sunday, and I can assure all of you that in 6 months to a year, everyone on Queen Street will be wearing them. So yeah, you gotta be supportive of the children, otherwise they grow up fucked up. I'm just gonna read one poem. And I guess before I read, I just want to say we're all thanking everyone between acts and everything. So I want to thank everyone else here for coming to this event, because this seems like a pretty good draw for a literary event. Usually you get maybe 20 people, but the Facebook page said 103. We didn't do too bad, so hey, pretty good. Thank you. Thanks for coming. And then I'm going to read one poem. It's sort of a species of sound poem. My voice is a little fucked up because I read sound poetry on Sunday. I'm not a singer, and I like to give it, and then I like to kind of like stay away from readings so that I can recover. But I'm not. Here I am. I'm like working on Sunday and on Wednesday. Unbelievable. It's called Souvenir. Who could forget when we feared noisy gray nightmares and they embraced quiet orange deserts, and we kicked intense purple rutabagas and they feared irreverent silver pelicans, and we embraced noisy brown snowflakes and they licked quiet gray lobsters, and we feared intense orange nightmares and they embraced irreverent purple deserts, and we kicked noisy silver rutabagas and they feared quiet brown pelicans, and we embraced intense gray snowflakes and they licked irreverent orange lobsters, and we feared noisy purple nightmares and they embraced quiet silver deserts, and we kicked intense brown rutabagas and they feared irreverent gray pelicans, and we embraced noisy orange snowflakes and they licked quiet purple lobsters, and we feared intense silver nightmares and they embraced irreverent brown deserts, and we kicked noisy gray rutabagas and they feared quiet orange pelicans, and we embraced intense purple snowflakes, and they licked irreverent silver lobsters. And we feared noisy brown nightmares, and they embraced quiet gray deserts. And we kicked intense orange rutabagas, and they feared irreverent purple pelicans. And we embraced noisy silver snowflakes, and they licked quiet brown lobsters. And we feared intense gray nightmares, and they embraced irreverent orange deserts. And we kicked noisy purple rutabagas, and they feared quiet silver pelicans. And we embraced intense brown snowflakes, and they licked irreverent gray lobsters. And we feared noisy orange nightmares, and they embraced quiet purple deserts. And we kicked intense silver rutabagas, and they feared irreverent brown pelicans. And we embraced noisy gray snowflakes, and they licked quiet orange lobsters. And we feared intense purple nightmares, and they embraced irreverent silver deserts. And we kicked noisy brown rutabagas, and they feared quiet gray pelicans. And we embraced intense orange snowflakes, and they licked irreverent purple lobsters. And we feared noisy silver nightmares, and they embraced quiet brown deserts. And we kicked intense gray rutabagas, and they feared irreverent orange pelicans. And we embraced noisy purple snowflakes, and they licked quiet silver lobsters. And we feared intense brown nightmares, and they embraced irreverent gray deserts. And we kicked noisy orange rutabagas, and they feared quiet purple pelicans. And we embraced intense silver snowflakes, and they licked irreverent brown lobsters. And we feared noisy gray nightmares. And this microphone is a motherfucker, and it sucks. The trouble is, like, this is tin, man. Like, it's like a tin can when you're a little kid and you got a rope from like the neighbor's house to your house. How you doing down there now? Oh, well, that's really great. And then I just want to say, if anybody doesn't know what a typewriter poem is, there's a typewriter in this cafe, and on that typewriter are some pamphlets, and first come, first serve, learn about the typewriter poem.
Okay, we're going to take a break here. For people who know technology, the mic is probably not the problem. We'll play with the treble and bass over the break here and see if we can pump that. So I'll be over there, and just before we go into the break, I'm going to mention Carousel has a kind of unique year that's coming up where we do these Toronto launches occasionally. We do a Guelph launch. But this year, within the next year, we're going to be trying to do like a rural Ontario or smaller city slow tour, what we're calling a slow tour, like taking it on the road every couple weeks to go do an event somewhere. And this is a great turnout. So we're going to try to use this as a litmus test to see how many issues we can sell at a launch, which puts pressure on you to come and sort of support us. We'll take 10 or 15 minutes, so feel free to jump out. Of course, support the bar, and we'll return for 3 more readers. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. So this is a launch for legendary literary magazine, Carousel magazine, issue 35 launch. Yar. So this is the event for tonight. Sorry.
I actually did the math. And they're like 35 cents. Well, depending where you get the money.
Well, there you go. You're 55 cents in the red right now.
That's okay. Like,
So we'll be back with 3 more readers coming up. This is the Dundas West Ronsonsville area, part of Toronto. East end of, west end of downtown.
That's true. It's hard on the laundry though. Yeah, I end up doing a bunch of laundry. Shirts? Yeah, I felt like a little fan.
We're at the Belljar Cafe at 2072 Dundas West and Howard Park, where Dundas West means Ronsonsville area. Come on.
Thank you very much.
Like a regular.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yar.
The idea is like it's like sticky, it's hot. I missed it really. I was only able to bring
right here, it's like, okay, here we go.
Think about like attacking your
Hey!
How you doing?
Good.
What you got?
Look at how this rig I cut. You're working on something.
Or you picking up something?
No, I just was showing something. Okay. How do you carry a painting on the back of the bike? I think I got it, right? I was trying to figure out. I had it. It's not glass, is it? No. I had it going this way, that way, this way, and this is what I settled on. So people are reading?
Yeah, we have 4 readers already.
How do you read the 4
Yar. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right.
I'm still dreaming of that female bacon you took at Rob and Julie's.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that was cult.
Are you a real pirate?
Yar. Yar. Even the kids know it. Yeah, good to see you.
You too, Gio.
Yar.
Where's Barlow?
I am shocked.
He's at home watching, maybe. Not likely.
He still got dial-up, doesn't he? So no.
No.
He might still be in Windsor.
Oh yeah, possibly.
He might have taken a vacation. I don't know. Detroit, Windsor.
Yeah.
Yar. Yar.
5 hours.
Daniel, Yar.
Shanger, how are
are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Yeah. Good. I've been tired the last couple of days.
I wonder why.
Yeah, sleeping a lot. Yeah.
Good.
But good. Yeah, and it rained like hell. It rained like non-stop that night, so that wasn't that good. But the tent held up. It was good. You know Shanger? Oh, good. How are you doing?
Yar. Oh! We're live to the world. Hi, world.
Pick up some of these fine publications. By
Elephant papers.
Yeah, should we?
I heard of the Pentagon papers.
Well, look at all those elephants.
Actually, you know what? Gus showed this on the readings at the barn raising.
Okay, so you've seen it already.
Yes.
Have you shared it with the internet?
But that was a different live stream, so.
This is Yap. You can hear it, right? I don't know what that is. It looks like some sort of musical instrument.
Or a carburetor engine, or.
Maybe it's a carburetor. But that's another kind of musical instrument, right?
Yarr.
Oh. You're pirating my image.
I own this. I own ya. No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
If you think the world's gonna end, you know, like this little family is almost like hope or something, because they're smart kids, they're friendly, they're very nice, they're really gentle, you know, because they're I guess maybe protected or whatever because they live on a farm, and you know, but they're curious about the world and they know about things. And the little boy, the 5-year-old that painted this, is making and selling T-shirts. You know what I mean? He takes little. I bought one that's a wolf. That sort of pose where the wolf's howling at the moon. So he'll take like a little outline, like a silhouette, put it on a T-shirt that they buy at the Goodwill or whatever. Take bleach and go, and then you get like a kind of like this weird negative. And so I bought one of those, and then I thought I'm going to continue to support this little kid by supporting his parental refuse. Like my parents threw this away, right? But when you got kids, especially 3 of them, they scribble on everything, right? So it's like it doesn't matter. But I don't have kids, so I thought, well, you know, this will be my little homage to Ashland, and I'm going to see if I can wear it. And then, actually, I came to Toronto on Monday night, and I was wearing it. And then I stayed at another friend's house, and then in the morning, I'd taken it off, and in the morning, Toronto was still fresh. They hadn't seen the hat yet, as of Monday. And I thought, am I going to wear that? Am I going to put that thing on again? I thought, yeah, I am, because like everybody does anything they want in Toronto, you know, fashion-wise or whatever. So, and then I thought, oh, well, in a couple of months, you're going to see them all over Queen Street, because I've been hanging out on Queen and Lansdowne, where my friend that I'm staying with is, and that's a colorful neighborhood. constant, you know, pageant of people running back and forth.
Parkdale.
They've seen the hat, and the guy that wanted to tag it said, "Hey, what's going on?" I was wearing this shirt today.
Yeah?
I changed out. Yeah, I got a gray and pink.
Holy fuck.
I just noticed it. I saw them live in 2009 in Windsor. They were really good.
Yeah, I saw them a bunch of times. They were
Yeah.
excellent.
Well, they're here, right?
Yeah.
But they don't make it out over there. But I did see them, and I bought the shirt. Anyways, so yeah. So I've been walking around or whatever in that little hood, and some guy saw me, and he was kind of like this half cracked out street person or whatever. And he's like, "Hey man, like, what are you doing? I've seen you for 3 days now, and you're wearing that hat. Like, what's going on? Like, are you a chef?" And I was like, and I told him the story, like, even though he was just a street person and he didn't really care. And he's like, "Oh, can I tag it?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So he's like, "Put it on the wall, put it on the wall, lay it flat," you know. And then he writes Mr. Chef, and he does all these little curlicues, and you know, like, just weirdness.
And here we thought he was the black Mexican Pope with that hat.
But I
As
just,
Frank Zappa would
I'm
say.
conducting a stress test on the paper hat. Yeah. There you go. Nice talking to you.
The fucking lion that got killed.
Oh man. That's weird. Apparently Daniel Lanois owns this building.
Really?
Yeah. This is his like home, away from home when he's in Toronto or something. I don't really know. He doesn't live there, but he has parties there.
It'd be nice to have a party house.
Fuck, man, like just a house that you can bring people to and have your like debauchery.
Dickens.
And then,
Dickens used to be like
get
that.
out, get out.
Remember the decade at Dickens?
U2 albums. Gonna be able to
The
afford.
royalties will roll in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Unlike,
Could use some pure criminals to get my hands on some royalties.
Yeah.
You know? You just need pure criminality and then you're set, man. You'll get those royalties. It's just predicated on your association with the criminal class.
Yeah.
You know?
And how much you're willing to be a criminal.
Or allow a criminal to
For a
exploit
short
you.
minute.
Criminal, eh?
What is this anyway? Like this is like
Why
so.
casting?
I know, but like
Why
Live
what about
streaming.
privacy?
It's
What about privacy? Privacy is the penultimate issue of the 21st century.
You've known me how long?
Well, I've known you for
Ever.
20. Let's see,
20-something years.
28 years. 28 years.
Yar.
Is that right? No, that's not right. 20.
It's early 90s. Almost quarter century.
quarter century.
Quarter century. I've known John since 93.
23 years. That's what it is.
Yar.
Not that old. Yeah. I met Gio.
I've met him.
I met Gio really early, like about 93 I met Gio.
Is that when you started showing up?
93 is when I was a Neighbors with John on Lansdowne.
Okay, so I've known you since then, pretty
Yeah,
much.
that's when I met. That's when I also
and all
met.
my older friends call me Gio. All the live stream friends call me D.
Or
As in
Shanger.
ABC.
Or
D,
Shanger.
Or Shanger.
Yeah, I know.
It's Dee Shanger or previously Gio Shanger.
Gio Shanger.
But after 5,000 streams, that's my stage name. D.
I like Kemeny style over there, bringing the beer out on stuff. Make sure you get a shot of that. That's totally illegal.
He's got water.
Oh, okay.
He's got water in it.
Yeah, good try.
If you cup the beer though, it looks like water.
If you cup the beer, it looks like water. Or if you cup the beer, it looks like water. You cup the water, it looks like beer.
My reading was shitty. My voice is fucked up from Sunday or from Saturday or whatever day we read. I'm still hoarse from competing with the rain. Even though your live stream, like that device, is able to drown the ambient noise of the rain out, and when you see it on YouTube or wherever it is, I
got a question from the live chat.
Yeah.
Girlies36 username. Ask them if they know people from Hilty. I used to deliver veg for them, VEGE. And then Belljar, and the next Belljar is Dundas Park Place.
I don't know. First time
Baroque
here.
Smokehouse.
First time here, so I've never been here before.
I stayed.
I went to a sandwich shop around here once.
When I was here in November, I stayed right across the street for a week. I
Come here?
Yeah, I was here in November really quickly, kind of doing the first leg of the work that we're doing this week. And I got 5 nights for $100 at somebody's like little sublet. Super cheap, man. Like for Toronto, I have my own flights.
How many years ago?
What?
November.
In November. So I was coming here for my coffee in the morning. So I knew this place just for espresso. You know, they had espresso down.
Espresso.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down.
Stay a while.
So what have you been up to these days, Gio?
Live streaming and live streaming and live streaming and archival work, and 200 years from now, archivists will love it. My archives, easy to sort through. After over 6,000
I love that Gio
streams.
guy. His archives are so easy to sift through.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing that they're around for 200 years. It's another thing to actually find out what the hell's going on. Mine are immaculate.
She's just fancy lady.
I'll have Belljar lager. Thank you.
It's very
Yarr. Your life to the world, hi world. Yarr.
I need a refill.
yeah.
No.
Daddy, play you. I say, Daddy, play with me. He says, Daddy, play with me. Go shopping and avocados. He said that was due today. It's not that, like, you know,
Yeah, they do that. Are you still able to dress him? Or is that over?
Yeah, no, we still dress him.
No, but are you able to choose? Or is he... Okay. There comes a point where they stop that. Because we used to dress you, and then there was like, no.
Yeah, I'm not wearing that.
I'm not wearing that. I hate the clothes you make me wear.
Does she shop for herself?
Her and her mother go out shopping.
How old is she?
10. Big girl. Pardon? Yeah, she's real. She's getting there. She's getting there. She's pretty.
She likes the Balinese?
Yeah, she loves it. She had such a good time. That would be so cool. He was like
No, that's so fun.
Good. When's your dissertation done?
Well, I'm writing the last chapter. That's good.
What's it about?
So it's kind of like science and secularization. It's not really secularization because there's still kind of like the rethink our religious politics and sex. It's like the news all about menstruation, right? Fertility, and that shows up in all the places in a really good way.
Are you gonna do a version for the masses?
There's nothing in it for me. It's all,
It wouldn't sell?
Not for mass consumption? Oh,
Come on!
we can eat it with our breakfast.
There you got
it's all about padding the sleeve.
Padding the what?
It's the curriculum vitae.
Oh.
Curriculum vitae.
So I think we're about to start.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So, I bounce off walls as much as anybody else. I'm a wall bouncer. Yeah. But even if you're a wall bouncer, it doesn't mean you have to contribute to it. No. Yes. Do it.
Shane. Good, how about you? Hello, everyone.
That's better.
I think we're going to get started here. Okay, thank you. So we have adjusted the treble a bit and the bass a bit, so hopefully it's not quite as tinny for people. Thanks for those who bought the issue and subscribed. We'll have another little sales period towards the end or after the second set of readings. Right now we're going to do 3 readings, and we'll get started with Jason Paradiso. So Jason is a frequent contributor to Carousel. He often does essays and interviews, which is a part of what the magazine is about. But as a creator, he's also been working on poetry, and we were happy to look at the work, and our committee chose some works, and so in 34 we published some of Jason's poetry, and in 35 Jason has an essay. So he's in both issues, and I guess probably I should default to the bio here. Jason Paradiso is an editor, poet, writer, artist, and previously associate editor-in-chief at Descant in the time when it was kind of coming to an end, which it recently came to an end. And for those of you who don't know, I was actually at Descant for 4 years as well previously. It was an interesting time, but you know.
It was an old magazine.
This guy's talking. Anyways, so that's where Jason and I met, and he's been a great peer at Carousel, and I didn't finish his bio here. Let's see. The poems that appear in this issue are part of an ongoing collection of poetry, cut lines, and pulled quotes, created with clipped, rearranged headlines and decks from dated magazines. Jason Paradiso.
Hello everybody, can you hear me all right? It's a little echoey there. So the poetry that I'm going to read is actually part of the series, Cut Lines and Pulled Quotes, where I actually take lines from different magazines and different articles and kind of piece them together. It doesn't look like a ransom note or anything like that, but if you have the issue, you see what it's like. because I stayed true to all of the punctuation and grammar except for Canadian spelling. I always change to Canadian spelling. Anyway, these first two are in issue 34. And a liquor store in Phoenix, Arizona. He disappeared in the middle of the night on the Wednesday before Easter weekend. Slipped away for a second time, despite going on a killing spree, a half-mile scar. He counts on his fingers, 5, maybe 6. Blood will tell, people will talk, with our arms around each other, smiles on their faces, knives in their backs. That's what it is. Almost everyone in America is from somewhere else. We didn't put a man on the moon for love or surprise, for loyalty, adventure, beginnings and ends, like a collection of dreams just expanded into space, a little better than those they left behind. Astronauts adjust quickly, to the stars that is, subtle glimmer over blinding light, the color of being gone a little too long, then finally coming home. And no, you aren't the first to ask. No one really knows which religion God likes best when astronauts return to Earth. This one is Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City. From a POW camp in Japan, he saw the flash of Hiroshima, and not just in the last moments. Seeing the light, he dropped his gun, stood in the center of the room, swaying from side to side. Among the ruins, his dreams changed. There, in a dark corner, was a ghostly white mass. Sam did well not to cry. The radiologist said nothing. 2 more. These ones are brand new. On a dreary stretch of Interstate 95. At the boy's murder trial, the girl looked miles from the main roads, too far to phone home. She should call the dentist and take her red coat to the cleaners. God helps those who help themselves. Memories can wait. You swear and tell the truth, but the truth is, we all know what the back of a police car feels like. Last one. Shootings in Chicago on a long, hot summer night. With no real destination, we drive around in circles to get to your house, without having to stop for directions, even without looking at a map. Bumper stickers show a crossed-out wolf and the slogan, "Smoke a pack a day." Bumper sticker reads, "Pray for me, before I go to sleep." It loses nothing in the translation, whether you've been there or not. The road, it's frayed, and the drivers are fading away. Thank you.
Our next reader is Robin Richardson. She appears in Carousel 35, our current issue. Robin Richardson is the author of Knife Throwing Through Self-Hypnosis, ECW Press 2013. She holds an MFA in poetry from St. Lawrence and currently divides her time between Toronto and New York. Robin.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me okay? Is that working? I love Carousel. I always have, and this is my first time appearing in it, so I'm pleased. I'm going to read one poem from the magazine and one very recent poem. And all you need to know about this one, you don't need to know it, it's just interesting. I stole the title from X-Files. We're just beasts with big brains. Tipsy on the stoop, beside a stone dog, faithful as the hurricane that claimed his face. It's okay. The sidewalks arching orange towards a chanting patch of shrubbery. It chants your name. Or does it state the ways of gods, or God, or something worse? I have misread myself for years. Open as an infant crow below the worm. At my feet, some German shepherd, older than his owner, begs to be embraced. He has your face. I don't trust this path. How cogent its ascent, how calm. I trust the tangle of its swan. Her skyward glances fire. Wingspan something I could worship under, blundering as one does in new adultery. It was a very, very new one, so we'll see how it goes. So maybe we exist a little different. Here I am, unnatural in every way, a whore of paradise in neon NASA footage, eons old, though no more stable than your slang. In the afternoon of these stings, I turned venom to the constellation I was spun from. Pink stars scarring like they mean it. Pain preambles conquest. Fluid as a fragrance, brave as any baby doll who's risen from the ranks of wife to wed her life entire. We are the heirs of action, wrapped up in the lifting of a skirt that tempts creation. Our tiffs are lame, fetishes seem amateurish post-Guantanamo. I had to suck you off to see it, 40 days and 40 nice enough soirees before it hit me. I am no natural occurrence. You're for procreation. I burn like my life depends on its extinction. Strutting paradox and cutoffs. Drinking virgin bourbons in a dream. Sleeping with my anesthesiologist in case I wake too soon. Want to live forever once I'm dead. Want you to pin me down while I proclaim hegemony. Your base is fuck and twice my size. There's something to that. There are detainees whose hypothermia spawned lies so lovely they seduced the CIA en masse. My best lines likewise come at last gasp. That's why I won't leave you, or someone like you. Men blur to an archetype, all narcissist and nasty deed until I'm bored, or bursting at the scars to start another war. It's balance, see? How lovingly I stroke you. Will you tell me how the fault lines in the Northwest need our dread to keep from quaking? Thank you very much.
So for those of you who have not looked through the magazine, Carousel has poetry, fiction, a lot of visual art, and we really are most interested in sort of finding those overlaps where those disciplines sort of merge. It's kind of interesting when someone like Robin submits poetry, and then later we sort of find out, if you sort of follow her on social media, I've recently noticed that she does a ton of drawings, so you should sort of check that out. Daniel, who we'll be reading next, just told me he's been working on sort of film things this summer. So again, you know, I think that the sort of multidisciplinary thing is what's really interesting, whether it's typewriters, film, visual art, poetry. We kind of seem to attract people who are like interested in like more than one thing. Daniel is in 35 and he is here with poetry. And he will be our final reader for the night. Daniel Scott Tysdal is the author of 2 books of poetry, The Mourner's Book of Albums, Tightrope, and Predicting the Next Big Advertising Breakthrough Using a Potentially Dangerous Method, Poetry, 2006. His poetry textbook, The Writing Moment, A Practical Guide to Creating Poems, was recently published by Oxford University Press. Daniel.
Well, thanks a lot, Mark, and let's give him a big round and everyone at Carousel for another awesome issue and a totally fun night. This has been incredible. So the 2 poems I'm going to read for you tonight are both in the issue, and they're from my new book of poems that's coming out in the fall, and it's called Folk-occasional Poems. And so the poems are about fake occasions, or about events that never happened. So there's a poem in there about the Iroquois landing in Europe in the 12th century. There's a poem in there thinking of Hiroshima, the anniversary tomorrow. A poem about the Enola Gay not dropping the bomb on Hiroshima. So it's pieces like that. So this first poem I'm going to read for you is set in a universe where everyone believes or knows that these works that we attribute to Shakespeare in our universe were written by a collective author. And yet in this universe, there's one woman, Dr. Marjorie Rubright, who believes that one man named William Shakespeare wrote all of these works. And she's basically considered a crank and a quack for thinking that. It's a sonnet. It's called Sonnet 155. One ray of light does not the dark curtail. No hunger's fed by apricots alone. A solitary wolf's predation fails to carve a path. A body's not just bone. Yet Rubright claims a candle is a sun, asserting Globe's grand players did not write their ageless plays and poems. Shakespeare's the one. She bids our bard collective a lone goodnight. Or does she wake us to a truer flaw? Our grasp of authorship was far too cramped. A sonnet's lines by lovers' eyes are drawn. By royals, stars, and blood, the plays are stamped and sing. Totus, mundus, agit art. For all great works, we all compose a part. So the next and last poem I want to read for you is called Inside Job. And it takes place in an alternate universe in which everyone knows that 9/11 was orchestrated by the American government. And it's the conspiracy theorists who believe that maybe Osama bin Laden did it or there was something else going on. And so it's composed on the occasion of the release of the 9/11 conspiracy theory documentary called Tight Resistance. If any of you have seen Loose Change, that's what was released in our universe. Inside Job. The doc shocks. Its evidence is as disturbing as its claims. 9/11 was not an inside job. Bush could not have known X. The CIA could not have orchestrated Y. The terrorists were not actors working from a script by Zed, a rumored Oscar winner, and doctored by other Hollywood A-listers. Tight Resistance mounts a new founding alphabet to articulate the tragedy. Multiple broken alphabets, really, a sort of conspiratorial babble, since none of the new facts add up to a total tongue. Yet this patois that is part science, part myth, part insane speculation still disturbs the infantile hum, the pre-linguistic grrr of our hate for a government we found guilty of plotting to tear down the towers the day the towers fell. The plenary of our popular opinion is now as fragmented as the guerrilla ads that preceded Tight Resistance's release. The 9/11 was not an inside job stickers slapped on newspaper boxes, and the portraits of bin Laden stenciled throughout cities nationwide, framed by the questions, Patsy? Really? The battle over whose truth is true is a deafening static. This inert, resounding noise, the editorials and tweets and barroom shouting matches and petitions and ruined family dinners, is an airless mountaintop crossed with a crushing flood. And subsumed by this storming roar, we can miss the caterpillar the Tight Resistance controversy cocoons into the butterfly of a subtler, more elegant, though no less disturbing truth. All jobs are inside jobs. They are perpetrated by insiders who long to draw us into the control of their hope. Every shepherd is a fence-building wrangler. The universe has no edge. We are all inside Job, the perpetually punished believer that is our world. He endures the depths like some great aged fish in which we, in our massed huddling, our mastless ship rocking on this inner sea of bile and debris, brawl in the fog. We cherish the light that flashes briefly when the immense beast surfaces and its jaws part to deliver even more inside.
Yeah.
Thus concludes the second part of our readings. We'll have the magazines out for about 10 or 15 more minutes. Now would be the time to do it if you're going to. Feel free to stay and mingle and chat. And thank you all for coming. We'll do another launch in the winter.
Thanks, Mark. Yay!
Thank you.
I
I discovered a fountain poetry. I've written quite a bit myself, but there's a fountain poetry, and I'd love to show it to someone. So when you see it, there's a fountain.
Hi world! Hi world! Hi world!
Yeah. He has face. He got 3 bites. And her eyes
Oh, you know what? I didn't even recognize you, man. Like, it's like 20 years.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. I slept
Looking
today.
forward to them. This is a little sample. Okay. Yeah. I did 3 little samplers over the course of the 5 years that the studio, right? This is the 3rd and last one. Looks
Yeah, he's here.
Yar.
Calantha. I don't know. I mean, oh, okay. Hey. It's
A wise guy.
Hey, yeah, my mom really liked your sauce.
Okay, well, now you know.
Nice.
I recycled it with a little bit of Classico, and I put some peas in it and some eggplant.
Well, that's the thing. You want to add a bit more water because I made it extra thick.
Yeah.
Bit of oil.
It dried up.
Yeah.
I moistened it. She said this is gonna give me heartburn.
Well, I didn't make it too spicy.
Had more. No, but she.
Because I knew the kids were gonna eat it.
She can't take it.
The Shanger pasta
She ate a lot
sauce.
more than she was supposed to. That was really good. Thanks a lot.
Yar.
Yar. I think you got Oren to say yar by the end of the weekend.
I know. Yar. I see your nose hair. Oh.
Why not, eh? At least they're reasonably clipped now.
You know what I want? Is Newcastle brown ale. $8. It's like a king can that costs like $3 at the store or whatever. The market is insane. Yeah, they don't have it in Newcastle brown ale. That's right. Daniel, thanks for coming out.
Hey, Opa! Here, finish my beer. It's right there. Billy!
Only because I thought Karen was here. I see Sam's here, so I'm going to be Sam. Yeah. I see Mark's here. And this guy with the sauce.
Hold the word motherfucker into their reading.
So were they impressed by the reading of the Thunderstorm with the metal bars shaking?
Well, you know what surprised people that were there? As I said to them when we were doing it, I said, the audio on this recording is
Bye, Shanger.
is better than in person. Right? It was better.
Yeah.
I think I even
Yeah, they heard better.
wanted with you a little bit. There was maybe some extremes. Do you have an address?
Billy! Go Jays, go!
Going there, Shang?
Yar!
So what show is this?
It just finished. There was a poetry reading. Carousel magazine, a legendary Canadian literary magazine, issue 35 launch. It's right there.
Oh, I see. Oh, so I missed it.
Just finished.
I see. Because I only left just like, I don't know, about an hour. Is there anything else happening or?
Yeah. At 10. At a bar called Tennessee in Parkdale. I'm going to try and get there to live stream it.
Nice.
So Gus, you want to do a final wrap up for tonight, and then I'm going to press stop and archive it? Typewriter stuff, eh? People still use typewriters?
Only like the weirdos.
Like
there
you.
it is. Yep. Here we are.
So what you think of tonight?
Tonight was astonishing. Yeah, good to see you guys. Or well, you're leaving. You're driving now, eh? Back to Brantford. Is that where you live? Oh, because you're going abroad. And you.
That's as good a wrap up as any. Alrighty, folks. So my name is Dee Shanger. I'm a mod and live stream director here at Occupy Toronto Livestream since day one on October 15, 2011, and this is stream 5,000 and something for me as a live stream director, and yar yar and yar yar, as we live streamers never say bye, but rather peace out. See you on the live chat. Ciao, folks.